Welcome to the Building Web3 podcast. Today we're joined by Xavier, a core contributor at Citizen Wallet and the Open Collective. From Silicon Valley to Brussels, Xavier has been on a mission to unite communities through innovative technology. We're going to explore how he's simplifying Web3 adoption, how their latest project, Regen Village, is using Web3 to regenerate our world. Remember, nothing stated here is financial advice. Welcome to the Building Web3 podcast. We have my good friend, Xavier. He is the founder of Citizen Wallet and the Open Collective. Xavier, could you give us a brief introduction into yourself and what were you doing before you got to Web3?
Yeah, hey, good to be here. Thank you for the invitation. So what was I doing before coming to Web3? Well, I've always been an entrepreneur. I'm a software engineer myself, from Belgium originally. That's where I'm right now. Actually, I'm in Brussels, the capital of Europe. And but I moved to Silicon Valley in 2009 because I wanted to do a startup and a tech startup. And back then there was really not much happening in Europe. So I moved to San Francisco, started StoryFi back in that time, kind of Web2 type of social media curation platform, storytelling platform. And then I went on to start Open Collective back in 2015. So I was really interested in how can we use new technology to empower our generation to create new form of organization, communities that can be sustainable financially, that can keep on producing public goods, open source software, and whatnot. And then fast forward, being back in Europe, I've been quite involved in the climate movements and using Open Collective for that as well. And then coming across Gitcoin, so work with them to create a climate round. And that was kind of the beginning of my Web3 story in a way. I mean, before that, I was just, I was touching Bitcoin and all of those type of things out of curiosity, really. But I really got involved in Web3 when we started onboarding projects for climate, for regeneration onto Web3 with the Gitcoin climate.
Very cool. So you got involved with Gitcoin climate, and would this be in the Regen section? I've heard a bit about this. So talk to me a little bit about what is Regen and what is this like public goods sector of crypto?
Yeah, so the idea of regen, so it stands for regeneration, right? And in a way, it's a bit of by opposition to degeneration. And the whole idea is that we need to move the conversation beyond the idea of sustainability. We actually don't want to sustain this current world, this current economic system that creates more and more inequalities and is depleting the resources, natural resources, but also human resources. And then so there's this idea of we need to regenerate resources, take care of our local communities, of our environment. And so that was kind of the idea. That's how we kind of, since we've been kind of playing with those climate movements and also in Web3, we reach out to Bitcoin and we work together to not only support open source project, but also create a round for climate project. And that was great. But in the process of doing that, I kind of realized multiple things. First, it was still kind of a pain in the ass to actually onboard normies, non-crypto people onto Web3, right? That was the first thing. Because we had to do that a lot. And then the other thing is to realize how much there was polarization in the world, right? Basically, my friends in climate movements didn't want to hear about crypto and about technology, but especially about crypto. It was kind of really, really bad. And likewise, I was trying to get my friend from Silicon Valley to join the rebellion, to join thinking about system change or climate change. It was really hard. Or the people in crypto only trying to find ways to make more money on money or whatnot. And so we said, gosh, we have to do something here, right? Because if we are truly serious about changing the system, changing the economic system for system change, not climate change, we're going to have to find a way to unite, right? Because first rule of war, keep your opponents divided. And so the current economic system is doing a pretty good job because we've never been more polarized. You're on one side, people who care about the planet, and on the other side, all those tech Silicon Valley, and then on the other side, you have all those kind of, degen, Web3, Lambos, type of face. And all of those different communities are in their own bubbles. And they don't realize that actually, if you're serious about changing the system, we're gonna have to find a way to come together. And that's how, with my partner Lane, we started Regens Unite. We had this we had started this temporary occupation in our street in Brussels. So we had access to that building, and we thought, all right, we're gonna bring together our friends from those climate movements, our friends from crypto, and we're gonna bring them together in one room. We're gonna shake the box and see what comes out. And there were just a couple of rules. The first one is no PowerPoint, only power circles. The idea that we need to move beyond kind of telling other people what they should know, what they should do, and start actually embracing that we all have a different piece of the puzzle. And that what we need to learn is rebuild trust and think about, like, okay, you know what? It's okay if I don't know about Web3, as long as there is someone in my community that knows. It's okay if I don't know about AI, as long as there is someone in my community that knows about all of those type of things. It's basically allowing each other, ourselves and each other, to just be. It's okay for you not to be on top of everything. But if together we trust each other, then together we can have access to all of those skills. And then we can unite. Because right now we cannot unite because even though you don't know shit about Web3, you still have an opinion. Because the old world, the old economic system that is paying all of those, journalists and whatever, like they give you a fake image, very narrow image of what's going on in that or that or that community. And so you just don't trust. And so we are all isolated and we can do nothing when we are isolated. And that's basically how we kind of we started like basically two years and a half ago, like Regions Unite. And since then, we organized a couple of those events where we tried to bring together all of those different communities. And the very last one was just actually last month during EFCC in Brussels. We ran a week-long side event called the Regen Village, where we tried to bring all that kind of, in a way, subculture in the crypto community of people who want to use those new superpowers, those new tools for allocating resources, coordinating, to use that to regenerate.
So we've now got the regen like collective, we'll call it, and then to walk me into how you guys went about founding Citizen Wallet, because they seem a little bit different, a wallet and the regen community. But talk to me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so the wallet came about because we, in the process of onboarding, when we are bridging those different communities and trying to get people outside of Web3 into Web3, right? We realized, oh my gosh, like if I need to ask them to download MetaMask, it's kind of quite technical and add another, Polygon network or whatnot, and then I send them tokens, and then they cannot do anything because they don't have the native token to pay for the gas fees, explaining gas fees. Oh my gosh, like, I don't know. I don't know the last time you tried to onboard someone to Web3, but it's quite an adventure. And so we thought, like, that's interesting. Like, so far, there's been kind of two generations of wallets. The first one was for tech people, MetaMask type of thing. Then the second one was for basically where the money is, for investors. People who have thousands of euros or dollars to invest, right? And because of that, they are willing to go through some technical, difficulties. And every single of those wallets, the first thing they show in your face is basically making sure that you're secure because you are about to have thousands and thousands of dollars or euros. And the second thing is showing you all of those different coins that you're supposed to study and how much each of them are worth in petrodollar. Like, this is not what someone who, most of the people out there are actually not interested in that. However, crypto as, Web3 can really be powerful as a way to allocate resource in your community. And so when you want to onboard those people in your community, you just want them to you want to give them a wallet that is already configured for your community. So that they can just, hey, don't worry, no, just download this. It's good. It's already configured. And now you can receive the token of our DAO, of our community, and now you can send it left and right because there's no gas fees. Everything is sponsored with account abstraction for the technical people out there, ERC 4237. But the end result is something that just works. And so now when we onboard people to Web3, as we do in our Regions Unite events, or more recently the concept that we can talk about as well if you want, yeah, it's becoming something very easy. People just don't know the citizen wallet, they join the right community, and voila, that's it. It's configured, it just works. If they ever lose their wallet, the community can recover it for them. Like, it's just the wallet for normal citizens. Just want to receive the token of a community and just use it.
Yeah, I got to say, I'm very excited about this. When I was talking with Particle and hearing about like account abstraction, then also chain abstraction, it's like my mom never goes to a website. It's like, oh wow, this uses MongoDB. No, she doesn't think about it, and nor should she. Like, it just works. It should just work.
Exactly. So people who just use the citizen wallet, like, same thing for them. They don't know if it's on the blockchain, which blockchain, if it's MySQL, MongoDB, it doesn't matter. What matters to them is that they open the app, they see exactly their balance, they see the transactions, they can send it to somebody else. All the rest does not matter. It is actually our problem as developers to engineer something so that we can abstract away all of that complexity. The reason why we use the blockchain is because we want to play this massive multiplayer game at the level of the planet where we all can contribute and we can all build different protocol and plugins because we all share the same database. And that's why we use the blockchain. All the rest,
yeah, abstract away the difficult details. So let's talk a little bit about, we talked about some of the features. Let's talk about some of the challenges you guys had with bringing this, because account abstraction is relatively new. Like, people are familiar with MetaMask. It's not the default. So tell us a little bit about how you guys went about building this project.
Yeah, so to us, like, this kind of new ERC 4237 was kind of a key enabler, because we knew that this problem of gas fees was just a massive UX issue for non-crypto people, right? It's a bit like, when you start a WordPress blog, like, you don't ask your visitors to pay for the bandwidth, for the hosting.
No, like, hey, pay for the AWS credits, like.
Right, that's insane, right? You just pay. It's anyway. It's so pennies that it doesn't matter. You just pay your $10 a month, and so that your visitors can come for free and use it. Because, yeah. So here's the same idea. So for okay, the community is gonna pay, gonna have a paymaster, as we call it, like that sponsors all those transactions, so that it's just seamless for people. And so that's really was the key enabler. One of the challenges that was indeed so new that there were not so many like utilities available for it yet. And the main ones were only for the largest chain. So we're using this bundler that was working only on Polygon and Optimism, I think. But then we got a grant from Celo, and so we had to make it work there, but it was not like those bundlers need to have privileged access to a validator. So it's kind of really complicated. So that was kind of the key phase we had to work around, was coming up with our own bundler that would work at the community level, that wouldn't require privileged access to the validator. I'm getting into a bit of the details here. You stopped me. I don't know how far down the rabbit hole.
Hey, no, we're willing to go far down the rabbit hole.
All right, but basically the end result is that like all of those protocols are built because they really want to ensure that nobody can abuse them, right? Because on Web3 you have a lot of anons, all around that just try and look for loopholes and try to abuse this, right? And so those bundlers, they basically allow you to set in place infrastructure so that you can sponsor transactions, but you don't want people to take advantage of that and train your wallet to sponsorize like all of their transactions and all of those trades that they can do. But in our case, we are in a totally different environment, because we are here about enabling community currencies, like a token that is only for your community. And if the bundler is only limited to interact with your contract, with your token, actually, that's fine. Actually, that's exactly what you want. You actually want to reduce the friction for people. So we're able to basically simplify the bundler so that we don't need privileged access to a validator, which makes it like much easier now for any community to deploy their own on whatever chain, EVM-compatible chain that they want. And so it massively reduced the complexity and it makes it easier to deploy the citizen wallet for your community in the EVM chain.
All right. So imagine, I've got the Building Web3, the Jax community, all of my loyal fans are going to want their own token. Walk me through how this would work on the Citizen platform.
Yeah, so you can basically, you can have your own community server that you can like WordPress style. You basically, there is a Docker container that you can just, spin up on your own virtual server somewhere on AWS or wherever. And that's going to be basically the place where, because you need an indexer to index all of the transactions happening on your token, right? Because you cannot, it's too slow to just listen to the blockchain at every single request. And that is also being used for notifications. And when in the process, you basically have an onboarding process, and it's gonna create the bunker that I just talked about. It's gonna create the entry point. It's gonna create all of those different account factory, so that people can create a wallet. So it will create all of that for you behind the scene. But the end result is that you end up with a dashboard, a bit WordPress style, where you have an address that you can top up to sponsor all the gas fees for all the people interacting with your token through the Citizen wallet. And you end up with a web wallet, right, that you can host on your own domain. So whatever your domain is. And then people basically, as soon as, you can send them that address, that URL, and people create directly a wallet in their browser. And they can receive tokens there and send them without paying gas fees. It just works. And then they can download the app on the App Store or the Google Play Store, and they can import that web wallet into the app so that they have like a much more long-lasting and more secure wallet. And so then that's it. And basically, because like that, just like that, have a native iOS or Android app on their device, and that is configured for your token. And that's it. Then at no point in time, they need to know about which chain it is on. They need to know about gas fees. They just see the app with your logo, with your name, and the tokens they have, and they can just send it to each other.
Easy peasy. Hey, we love that. So let's talk a little bit about, some of the adoption of your guys' Citizen Wallet. Like, how many people do you have? How many communities do you have? How many users?
Well, that's a good question. It's an open source project, so we kind of don't really, people can just fork and download, can do it on their own. Right now, I would say though, I don't think there is that many different communities yet. I mean, we've been working on this for about a year now, and we've been building this mostly for ourselves, to be honest, because we had experienced that pain point ourselves. And so we had a couple of communities, like the Oak community in Oakland, California, who's been doing their own local cryptocurrency. They've been using it on the market there. In San Francisco, there's the SF Love community that's been doing something quite similar. And then here in Brussels as well, we do this Crypto Wednesday, every first Wednesday of the month. So that was yesterday was another edition. And then we just thought that whenever we do those meetups, it's a bit ridiculous. It's about Web3 and people pay at the bar with Visa, MasterCard, or Apple Pay, or Google Pay. Right? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So we use a Citizen wallet. We have our own kind of stable coin for the city of Brussels that we've created with DAO Brussels. And then we use Citizen wallet, and people pay at the bar. If you follow on Twitter at Citizen Wallet, you will see a couple of those videos. And so those are kind of the different communities that have been using it, and then of course the Regions Unite community. And now we look forward to have more communities using it. A lot of people get to experience it during EFCC at the Regen Village, and feedback was really people were really excited about it. We created a version that works with NFC tags. So we had like one of those where people can see the video. Everybody had those wristbands, and in those wristbands there is actually an NFC chip. Then people also could have like those keychains, and that's also there's an NFC tag in it, and those NFC tags can basically act as a crypto wallet. And so that's great because the best interface is no interface, so you can basically just give that pieces of hardware in people's hands, and now they can just tap to pay or tap to receive tokens for their contribution in the community. And that's just a fantastic experience where people get to experience this ability of communities now with Web3 to create new economic systems where people get rewarded, get incentivized to do certain actions. And then they can use those tokens to basically access swags or whatever other things that the communities has to offer.
I love it. All right. We got 3 minutes left. So now we're going to the rapid fire questions. We just need quick responses to everything. So you've been a serial entrepreneur. What's one piece of advice you would give to any founder looking to enter Web3?
One piece of advice. You can never stop a man or woman that never stops. So keep going, iterate. Don't be paralyzed by anything. Just try and iterate. It's okay. And start small. Don't overthink. Start small. Start wherever you are.
All right, so start small. Don't quit. And then let's out. If you couldn't work on Citizen Wallet, what is one area of crypto you think is being underdeveloped or you think you could really contribute to?
Great question. Because obviously Citizen Wallet, that's what it is. Yeah, I would say like the other thing is so far we've been building software for either companies, corporations, right, B2B, or for B2C, for individual consumers. What we really need is start building software for communities. And I think Web3 is the place to do that. So I would love to see a new generation of entrepreneurs, a new generation of Y Combinator working on software for communities using Web3.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about where people can learn more about you, learn more about your projects, and connect with you online.
So I guess this is Twitter or LinkedIn, Xavier, that's my name, or Xdaman on Twitter. I'm Xavier on Varcaster, but yes, I'm been super active there. Otherwise, just look up Citizen Wallet. That's the best. And then otherwise, if you are in Europe, come to the Commons Hub. It's this new space that we started in Brussels that we, as a common, where we basically apply all the things that we've learned in Web3 to basically how do we manage a common space, a shared resource, and we want people who contribute to the space and let people also invest in it. So that's a new adventure that we also started.
Awesome. Well, Xavier, thank you so much for coming on here, and to all the builders in Web3. Let's get back to building the future.